Welcome to the world of automotive flops and fails. Today we're taking a look at some of the biggest sales duds in automotive history. These cars were hyped up to be the next big thing, but they ended up being the next big flop instead. Get ready to laugh, cringe, and maybe even shed a tear as we take a journey through the world of the most spectacular, unsuccessful cars ever to hit the market. First, we'll start off with the Pontiac Aztek, a car that was supposed to be the ultimate versatile vehicle, turned out to be the ultimate eyesore. It was supposed to be a sleek and funky design that was perfect for families, outdoor enthusiasts, and anyone in between when it was first released in 2001. But as it turns out, looks can be deceiving. When the Aztek was first unveiled, it was met with mixed reviews. Some people thought it looked cool and unique, while others thought it was just plain ugly. But the Aztek's looks were the least of its problems. It had poor performance, limited features, and it was not well received by critics. Unfortunately for Pontiac, the Aztek was a masterpiece of poor sales, and it went down in history as one of the most spectacular, unsuccessful cars of all time. It sold a measly 7,000 units in the first year, and it was quickly discontinued in 2005. But despite its shortcomings, the Aztek remains a fascinating piece of automotive history and a cautionary tale about the dangers of trying to be too unique. It's a classic example of a car that had all the potential in the world, but ultimately failed to live up to its promise. Next up, the car that quickly became known for its poor quality and unreliability, the Chevrolet Vega. The Chevrolet Vega was the black sheep of the automotive world. When it was released in 1971, it was supposed to be the car of the future. But instead, it quickly became infamous for its poor quality and unreliability. It was as if Chevrolet had taken all the cheap materials they could find, thrown them together, and hoped for the best. The Vega was plagued with problems, from rust issues that made it look like it had been left out in the monsoon to engine troubles that left drivers stranded on the side of the road. And if that wasn't bad enough, it was also a fuel hog. It seemed like the Vega was determined to drain the wallets of its owners 1 mile at a time. But it wasn't just the mechanical issues that made the Vega a dud. The interior was incredibly basic, and critics were not impressed. It was discontinued in 1977, but not before leaving a lasting impression as one of the worst cars of all time. You may know our next car from a popular 1980s movie. Can you guess it? The DeLorean DMC-12 is a car that may ring a bell for fans of a certain time-traveling movie franchise. Debuting in 1981, this stainless steel beauty, with its iconic gull-wing doors, was supposed to be the sports car of the future. But unfortunately, it ended up being more of a flop than a futuristic wonder. The DMC-12 was underpowered, overpriced, and had some serious quality control issues. But despite its shortcomings, the car was able to grab a moment of fame when it was featured in the Back to the Future movie franchise. But even that was not enough to save it from its poor sales and reputation, as it was discontinued after only 2 years of production in 1983. Still, the DMC-12 remains a beloved pop culture icon, thanks in large part to its starring role in the Back to the Future movies. And for that, it will always have a special place in the hearts of fans. When the AMC Pacer was released in 1975, it was different from anything else in the market. But its unique design ended up being more of a weakness than a strength, as that ultimately led to the Pacer's downfall. It was supposed to be a compact car with a spacious interior, but it was not received well by critics and ended up being a sales flop. The Pacer was also known for its poor fuel efficiency, and ultimately, its poor reputation led it to becoming a joke within the automotive industry, and it was ultimately discontinued. But the biggest flop of the Pacer was its reputation. It was like AMC built a car that was so bad, it became a punchline for jokes. It was like the Pacer was the butt of every automotive joke, and it couldn't catch a break. It was so bad that it was quickly discontinued. The Ford Edsel was a car that promised to revolutionize the automotive industry when it was first released in 1958, but completely failed to live up to the hype. Ford had high hopes for the Edsel. They heavily marketed it and even created a new division for it, but it was sent to the automotive graveyard after just 3 short years. The Edsel's design was polarizing. Some liked it and some didn't. Its front grille was particularly striking, but it was not well received by critics and buyers. To make matters worse, it was overpriced, which made it difficult to sell. The Edsel's poor sales and reputation quickly became the talk of the town. It was a car that promised to be the next big thing, but ended up being a big flop. Ford had to discontinue the Edsel in just 3 years. It was just a failure in every sense of the word. The Yugo GV was a compact car that was manufactured in Yugoslavia. It was imported to the US and sold as an affordable option for car buyers. However, it ended up being a sales flop. The Yugo GV was known for its low-quality construction and poor performance. The car was made with cheap materials, and it didn't hold up well over time. It was a car that was not well built and not well received by critics or buyers. The Yugo GV was also known for its poor fuel efficiency. It was a gas guzzler that would burn through fuel quickly. Reliability issues were also a problem for the Yugo GV. It was a car that was prone to breaking down and needing repairs. The Yugo GV's reputation was also a major problem. It was a car that was widely criticized and mocked. It was a car that was the butt of many jokes, and it had a reputation for being unreliable and poorly made. The Yugo GV was quickly discontinued after just a few years on the market. In conclusion, the Yugo GV was an ambitious project that aimed to provide an affordable car for the masses, but it ultimately failed due to its poor construction and reputation. It serves as an example of how even the most ambitious projects can fall short if they are not well executed. These cars were supposed to be the future of the automotive industry, but unfortunately, they fell short of their promise. Whether it was due to poor performance, poor design, or poor reputation, these cars were ultimately doomed to failure. Despite their shortcomings, these cars remain an important part of the automotive history. They serve as a cautionary tale to automakers and a reminder that even the most promising cars can fall short of expectations. Were there any cars on this list that were unexpected for you? Did we miss any cars that you thought should have been on this list? Make sure to leave a comment and let us know. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to check out more of our content on cars and the automotive industry. If you like this video, be sure to let us know by clicking that like button and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our newest videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.